Check one, two, check one, two. Senator Sujata, we have a quorum, so we can begin whenever you're ready.
I just wanted to make a mark.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Okay, we'll take the script. Good morning, everyone. I think we will convene the meeting. So I'd like to call the Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 committee meeting of the Legislative Regulations Review Committee to order at 10:36. With my good co-chair, I see on Zoom with us today, like to make any remarks before we begin.
My apologies for not being there in person, but I'm sure I will see all of you in session next week.
Yeah, we'll be seeing each other for many, many hours, I'm sure. So we'll have that opportunity. Thank you. Thank you, Representative Carpino. Ranking members, would you like to add anything?
Delighted to see you, Madam Chair.
After a long session yesterday. Wonderful. Thank you, Senator Kissel.
Good morning.
Okay. So thank you, Madam Administrator. Would you please administer a quorum call?
Representative Carpino,
Here.
Senator Gagher-Wilcox,
Here.
Senator Kissel,
Here.
Representative Wielander,
Here.
Representative Biggins.
Present.
One more time for video, sir.
Biggins is here.
Thank you. Senator Chicarella, Representative Fishbein,
I am here.
Representative Godfrey.
I'm here too.
One more time for video.
I'm here too.
Thank you. Senator Hartley, Representative Claire DeStitria, Representative McGordy.
Ben, you're on mute.
I'm here as well.
Thank you. Senator Austin, Representative Ryan,
Here.
and Senator Summers. All right, we're all set.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, first we have proposed regulation 2025-016 from the Office of the State Comptroller, Fallen Officer Fund. I would entertain a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of rejection without prejudice.
Go ahead.
So moved by Representative Claridis and Claridis Tetrio,
Alex, second.
and second by Senator Kissel. Okay, so the motion was made and seconded. Is there any discussion? No? Okay. Seeing no discussion. Madam Administrator, will you please call the roll?
For proposed regulation 2025-016 from the Office of the State Comptroller regarding Fallen Officer Fund, we're entertaining a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of rejection without prejudice. Representative Carpino,
Yes.
Senator Gacker Wilcox,
Yes.
Senator Kistel, Representative Wieslander,
Yes.
Representative Biggins,
Biggins votes yes.
Senator Chicarella,
Yes.
Representative Fishbein,
Representative Fishbein votes yes.
Representative Godfrey,
And Representative Godfrey votes yes.
Senator Hartley, Representative Claire DeStitria, Representative McGordy,
Representative Gordy, yes.
Senator Austin, Representative Ryan.
Representative Ryan votes yes.
Sorry, you need to turn your, oh, there we go, I saw him. Senator Summers. All right, thank you.
Okay, next we have proposed regulation 2025-17 from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, sport fishing in the Inland District. I would entertain a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of approval in whole with technical corrections.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by Senator Kissel and second by by Representative Wieslander. With that, is there any discussion?
Yes, please, Madam Chair.
Representative Wieland.
Thank you. I wanted to just acknowledge that we, many of us on the committee had received a communication last night from many members of, last night, excuse me, and this morning, from many members of the angling community, and wanted to make sure that we noted that there were some very strong concerns about depleting the population of natural and non-stocked fish of the wild trout variety. And I did have a conversation with Deep, and we were able to clear up the fact that the original regs were not addressing this entirely in scope. There was some specific changes in the most vulnerable areas of water bodies that were changed, that became completely protected and went to catch and release, but that the number of 5 for the limit for catching was not part of the original scope of the regulations. And so we aren't able to change it at this time, but I'm grateful for Deep's commitment to an ongoing conversation. And I look forward to making sure that the native and wild trout populations are protected moving forward. So I will be supporting this recommendation today, but I do, like I said, look forward to these continued conversations. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative Wieslander. I'll just echo your comments and look forward to continued conversation. Are there any other comments?
It looks like
Discussion?
Representative Fishbein has his hand raised.
Representative Fishbein?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I know that some advocates in and outside the building choose to only communicate with certain individuals, sometimes to their detriment. I have not gotten whatever correspondence was just referred to. And I take it upon the representation that there was more than just one correspondence. So I would just ask that perhaps if somebody could forward me that correspondence, I do intend to support what's before us here today, but certainly if last minute concerns were raised by somebody that wants something different to happen, I think I owe it to them, although they choose not to communicate, to consider their remarks. So I don't know where that would come from, but I just bring it to the chair's attention. Perhaps if you have it, you could forward it on and I can respond accordingly. But I do intend to support what's before us here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Representative Fishbein. Representative Wiellander has a follow-up about the email.
I just went back and looked, and the emails that I received had everyone on the committee listed. And so I'm not sure if perhaps they were filtered out, but I am happy to share everything that I have gotten with our administrator, and that can be shared with the committee entirely.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. And we can certainly share that out with the whole committee. Great. Thank you, Representative Wiellander, Representative Fishbein. Are there any other comments or discussion on this rec? Okay, seeing none, Madam Administrator, will you call the roll?
For proposed regulation 2025-017 from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection regarding sport fishing in the Inland District, we're entertaining a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of approval in whole with technical corrections. Representative Carpino.
Yes.
Senator Gacker Wilcox.
Yes.
Senator Kissel. Representative Wiellander.
Yes.
Representative Biggins.
Biggins votes yes.
Senator Chicarella.
Yes.
Representative Fishbein.
Yes.
Representative Godfrey.
Representative Godfrey votes yes.
One more time to capture video, sir.
Godfrey votes yes.
Thank you. Senator Hartley.
In the affirmative.
Representative Claire DeStitria. Representative McGordy.
Representative McGordy, yes.
Senator Austin. Representative Ryan.
Yes.
Senator Summers. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have proposed regulation 2025-018 from the Department of Administrative Services, State Personnel Act, vacation leave. I would entertain a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of approval in whole with technical corrections. Moved by Senator Kissel. Is there a second by Representative Wiellander? Great. With that, is there any discussion? Nope. Okay, seeing none, Madam Administrator, will you call the roll?
For proposed regulation 2025-018 from the Department of Administrative Services regarding State Personnel Act vacation leave, we're entertaining a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of approval in whole with technical corrections. Representative Carpino.
Yes.
Senator Kissel.
Yes.
Senator Gacker Wilcox.
Yes.
Representative Wiellander.
Yes.
Representative Biggins.
Biggins votes yes.
Senator Chicarella.
Yes.
Representative Fishbein.
Representative Fishbein votes yes.
Representative Godfrey.
Representative Godfrey votes yes.
Senator Hartley.
Senator Hartley, yes.
Representative Claire DeStitria. Representative McGordy.
Representative McGordy votes yes.
Senator Austin. Representative Ryan.
Votes yes.
Senator Summers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And next we have proposed regulation 2025-019 from the Department of Consumer Protection, palliative use of marijuana. I would entertain a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of rejection without prejudice. Moved by Senator Kissel, second by Representative Wiellander. With that, is there any discussion? No. Okay, seeing none, Madam Administrator, will you call the roll?
For proposed regulation 2025-019 from the Department of Consumer Protection regarding palliative use of marijuana, we are entertaining a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of rejection without prejudice. Representative Carpino.
Yes.
Senator Gecker Wilcox.
Yes.
Senator Kissel. Representative Welander.
Yes.
Representative Biggins.
Biggins votes yes.
Senator Chigarella.
Yes.
Representative Fishbein.
Representative Fishbein votes yes.
Representative Godfrey.
Representative Godfrey votes yes.
Senator Hartley.
Senator Hartley, yes.
Representative Claire DeCitria. Representative McGordy.
Representative McGordy votes yes.
Senator Austin. Representative Ryan.
Votes yes.
Senator Summers. All right, thank you.
Okay. Next, we have proposed regulation 2025-020 from the Department of Consumer Protection, regulation of adult use cannabis. I would entertain a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of rejection without prejudice. Moved by Senator Kissel and seconded by Representative Welander. With that, is there any discussion on this motion? Oh, Representative Carpino.
Thank you, ma'am. I know it's difficult when it's a hybrid to catch everybody. Just a general statement. I know that we were rejecting this without prejudice, but I have heard from a number of individuals in the industry that have some questions and concerns about some of the testing. So I would ask that DCP meet with me so I can better understand. I know that there are other members of this committee too who were approached, and I'm a firm believer in full disclosure. So if there are other members who are looking for additional information, I encourage them to reach out as well. But having gone through this reg, even I don't understand some of the proposals. So I look forward to learning a bit more. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Representative Carpino. And I share your concerns as well. And I did have some questions and would like to continue that discussion on the full form testing in particular. Great. With that, are there any other comments or questions? No? Okay. Madam Administrator, will you call the roll?
For proposed regulation 2025-020 from the Department of Consumer Protection regarding regulation of adult use marijuana, we're entertaining a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of rejection without prejudice. Representative Carpino.
Yes.
Senator Gecker Wilcox.
Yes.
Senator Kissel.
Yes.
Representative Welander.
Yes.
Representative Biggins.
Biggins votes yes.
Senator Chigarella.
Yes.
Representative Fishbein.
Representative Fishbein votes yes.
Representative Godfrey.
Representative Godfrey votes yes.
Senator Hartley.
Yes.
Representative Claire DeCitria. Representative McGordy.
Representative McGordy votes yes.
Senator Austin. Representative Ryan.
Votes yes.
Senator Summers. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. We'll now move on to our resubmittals. First, we have proposed regulation 2025-001A from the Department of Public Health, continuing education for electrologists. I would entertain a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of approval in whole with technical corrections. Moved by Senator Kissel, seconded by Representative Welander. With that, is there any discussion? Oh, seeing none, Madam Administrator, will you call the roll?
For proposed regulation 2025-001A from the Department of Public Health regarding continuing education for electrologists, we are entertaining a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of approval in whole with technical corrections. Representative Carpino.
Yes.
Senator Gecker Wilcox.
Yes.
Senator Kissel. Representative Welander. Representative Biggins.
Biggins votes yes.
Senator Chigarola. Representative Fishbein.
Representative Fishbein votes yes.
Representative Godfrey.
Representative Godfrey votes yes.
Senator Hartley.
Yes.
Representative Claire DeCitria. Representative McGordy.
Representative McGordy votes yes.
Senator Austin. Representative Ryan.
Votes yes.
Senator Summers. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Next, we have proposed regulation 2025-003A from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, underground storage tank regulations. I'd entertain a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of approval in whole with technical corrections noted in the report, but delete technical correction number 2 from the LCO report. Moved by Senator Kissel, seconded by Representative Welander. Any discussion on that motion? Nope. Seeing none, Madam Administrator, please call the roll.
For proposed regulation 2025-003A from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, regarding underground storage tank regulations, we're entertaining a motion to approve the LCO recommendation of approval in whole with technical corrections, except deleting technical correction number 2. Representative Carpino.
Yes.
Senator Gacker Wilcox.
Yes.
Senator Kissel. Representative Welander.
Yes.
Representative Biggins.
Biggins votes yes.
Senator Ciccarella. Representative Fishbein.
Representative Fishbein votes yes.
Representative Godfrey.
Representative Godfrey votes yes.
Senator Hartley.
Yes.
Representative Claire DeStitria. Representative McGordy.
Representative McGordy votes yes.
Senator Austin.
Senator Austin votes in the affirmative.
Representative Ryan.
Representative Ryan votes yes.
Senator Summers. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And finally, we have proposed regulation 2025-014A from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, release-based cleanup regulations. Following discussion on one of the technical corrections with LCO, I would entertain a motion to accept the LCO recommendation of approval in whole with technical corrections noted in the report, but delete technical correction number 11 from the LCO report.
Second.
Moved by Senator Kissel, seconded by seconded by Senator Hartley. Sorry, I didn't see who was sorry. Seconded by Senator Hartley. With that, any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Yep, Senator Hartley.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. So just a comment. This is a storied regulation that appears before us and has a long history, most recently of the past 5 years of a working group that really dug in and spent exponential amounts of time on it. But before that, and I think we've mentioned this, this initiative was launched twice before, going back, quite frankly, 20 years, both of which times never was able to get to this point at which we are today. In fact, I think some of you might have had an opportunity to see this morning's, I think it was this morning's Hartford Business Journal, which talks about the importance of this proposal. We, the state of Connecticut, being only one of 2 states that have operated under the Transfer Act, which back in the 80s served its purpose. It was our primary program for cleaning up hazardous properties. And fast forward, our 48 other states realized that there were better ways to reach this balance between human health and the environment and economic development. And so since 2020, the legislature has been working with representatives from all of the involved parties, the stakeholders, thousands and thousands of hours dedicated to this. And I do once again want to recognize Graham Stevens, who is head of the Bureau of Water and Land Use, if I've got that right, Graham, I'm not sure. Who really was the glue in keeping this together through, quite frankly, a lot of challenging times. And also joining in this effort was the Department of Economic and Community Development, headed up by Matt Puglisi and his team. And so both teams were very, very important and bringing us to where we are today, as well as the regulated community and the advocates who I think were very vigilant in getting us to this point. We went through extensive public hearings, series of white papers, joint public hearings with the Environment and the Commerce Committee. And you see from the reg in front of you, it's about 360 pages with about another almost 200 pages of public comment, which is just a fraction of the input that came before this working group. And it was boiled down actually from the white papers to about 11 points. And then from there, we were down to 5 points. And in this last time, since we had about 30 days since the first submission to the office, to the Regulations Review Committee, the work continued. And I want to say as recently as last Friday, we finally all came to closure. And so that time was very well spent and very productive. And, we will have 2 companion pieces of legislation. Colleagues, one will be a Senate bill that's 1404, and then there will also be a House bill. One is the statutory conforming language. The second one is the House bill, which is, I think, 7085 maybe. And that is going to be the continuation of the working group so that we stay nimble. We continue to see this roll out, and we monitor if there are any unintended consequences. We're nimble enough to respond very rapidly to them to kind of wrap this initiative up. And I want to also give a big shout out to LCO. I think Chris Cortimo was heading it up, but the rest of the LCO team with trusted Brad Posen and of course the oversight of Maestro Nick Bombase, who actually I think started with this initiative in commerce. So you're really aging out on this one, Nick. So it's been a road, and it's, I think, a really solid place where we are right now. Not done, as we continue to work on this in an ongoing working committee. But with all of that having said, Madam Chairs, I wholeheartedly support the proposal in front of us today.
Thank you, Senator Hartley, and Senator Kissel.
Yeah, I wanted to chime in just very briefly. And I think that our last speaker deserves a huge amount of praise as well. Senator Hartley, you have been a champion of this effort for years, as you indicated. And one thing that we say both in the House and the Senate is don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Sometimes half a loaf is better than none, and sometimes bills have to move forward, and then we circle back a year or two later to fix what was not perfect. But in talking to Senator Hartley about this proposal, she stressed while she wasn't seeking the perfect, she was very insistent that it had to be right. It wasn't going to go forward out of regulations review or anywhere else unless it was right. And so it does take huge amounts of effort, and big shout outs to not only the rank and file in the Department of Economic and Community Development and Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, but Commissioner O'Keefe of DECD and Commissioner Katie Dykes of DEEP. Who went over a lot of the details with members of this committee and other committees. And actually, in speaking to Commissioner Dykes, she was excited about this proposal way back in the fall when we had a ceremony regarding open space. So it's been a long time coming. I actually am excited about what's going to take place. The notion, we had a ceremony up in my neck of the woods in Enfield regarding remediation of polluted sites, brownfields, and the like. And Governor Lamont, to his great credit, pointed out that, Connecticut being part of the Great Northeast was part of the Industrial Revolution. But so many parcels of land from 200 years ago that were at the forefront of technology during that Industrial Revolution have just been walked away from and just just sit there. They're not productive. People don't want to go near them because as soon as you dig up the soil, you're on the hook for all this remediation and costs and expenses. And by moving in this direction, like the 48 other states that Senator Hartley pointed out, we're going to be able to unlock the great potential that is out there in our small but nimble state. And so I just wanted to chime in and commend and praise my friend and colleague. This is not a partisan issue whatsoever, but it's one that took a huge amount of hard work. And Senator Hartley, you amongst so many others, but you in particular, deserve a huge amount of praise for this day and seeing this move forward. So I wanted that on the record. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Kissel. And Representative Carpino, I see you. Your hand is raised on Zoom.
Thank you, ma'am. This was a heavy lift, as my colleagues have mentioned, and I too want to thank everybody involved. In particular, I want to really acknowledge the professionals and the advocates who've stayed diligent, who were patient with our process and reached out and stayed engaged because of how important this was. I know many of them were anxious. I know that there were conversations to the good senator's point that this isn't perfect and that there's still work to be done. But this bill is so important for everybody involved. And I appreciate that's why everybody stayed at the table for so long to make sure we got it to this point. Simply said, this is a path forward for all these properties that will be a safe process, will be an efficient process. And the ultimate goal is really to spur economic development and get all of those properties back where they belong, which is productive, safe projects in all of our communities. So a sincere thank you to the agencies, to the attorneys, in particular to those advocates who stuck with us during the process.
Thank you, Representative Carpino. And let me just add thanks to Senator Hartley too for all your work on this. So, okay, terrific. So with that, Madam Administrator, will you call the roll?
For proposed regulation 2025-014A from the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection regarding release-based cleanup regulations, we are entertaining a motion for approval in whole with technical corrections noted in the report, but delete technical correction number 11 from LCO report. Representative Carpino.
Absolutely.
Senator Gacker-Wilcox.
Yes.
Senator Kissel.
Yes.
Representative Wielander.
Yes.
Representative Biggins.
Biggins votes yes.
Senator Chicarella.
Yes.
Representative Fishbein.
Representative Fishbein votes yes.
Representative Godfrey.
Representative Godfrey votes yes.
Senator Hartley.
Yes.
Representative Claire DeStitria. Representative McWherty.
Representative McGordy, yes.
Senator Austin.
Senator Austin votes in the affirmative.
Representative Ryan.
Votes yes.
One more time with video, sir.
Votes yes.
Thank you. And Senator Summers. All right, thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Well, it was nice to end on a high note after being up till 1:30 yesterday for a public hearing. So this is great. That concludes today's business on the agenda. Madam Administrator, can you please check in to make sure no one missed any votes?
Senator Hartley and Senator Chicarella, as well as Senator Austin, if you could say on Zoom, I have a few for you.
Okay, great. And so thank you for everyone attending today. With that, does anyone have closing remarks?
Don't adjourn until I get all the votes.
Okay, and I won't adjourn. We'll hold the meeting open until I get the okay from Administrator. But for everyone else, thank you.
Senator Chicarella.
Right.
Catherine?
I thought Tim Newkirk's comments in the Mirror last night.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, she's like, this is the wrong time to expand government. It's like, are you crazy? This is
We're not
Exact opposite.
but the misnomer is, we're not expanding government.
Right.
We're paying for the part that they are avoiding. So
She's spinning it by saying expanded government, but what we're doing is saying, hey, we're gonna start to make up.
and then we jump over.
Tony, I am running down to vote in regs review. I'll be right back.
We'll be ready. But I want to.
Fun. We should have one day where we do it. I'm looking at it, it does not look. Works pretty easy. You live in North Branford or Branford? I live in Guilford. Oh, you're in Guilford? Yeah. And Noah's in Travis. Yeah, that's. Who? Veskers. Hang up on. Almost pricking. How's it going? Fine. Good. Okay, perfect. That was perfect. Yeah, things that was perfect. Okay. You're walking away because I'm making comments? Yep, you are. I'm gonna follow you in there. Right. You can't get away